what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video. In today's video, we're taking a look at some PvP stuff, some meta PvP teams leading into the Super SUGO Fest of September. Now, this particular Super SUGO Fest doesn't really have a name. It's stereotypically the One Piece Day celebration, but we did get the anniversary exclusive boa, the Logia boa, for that celebration. And this is kind of just like a very filler end of Egghead Super SUGO celebration. So, bit of a weird one, but I thought, hey, let's take a look at the rumble sheet that's built by Naruto, or Naruto. Apologies if I said it incorrectly. I want to take a look at this rumble sheet. It's already built. It's already there for me. He puts a lot of work into this stuff, so I thought I would give it some direction as well. If you guys haven't checked it out, I'll leave a link in the description below. But I want to check out some of the PvP teams before we dive into these big Super SUGO Fest, because these Super SUGO Fest characters always tend to shake up the meta, especially in PvP, because Super SUGO characters are very, very strong. If you enjoyed the video, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff, and let me know in the comment section below what your favorite Rumble team is. Alright, so as I mentioned, this is the Rumble sheet from, it's Naruto right there. Make sure to go show him some love. Buy him a coffee. He updates this quite frequently as well. He's got the latest characters here, which is the Boa Hancock, the Frankie, the Brook, the Jinbei, Sabo, and Bonnie Pirates. These are the last characters that sort of released over the last sort of month. And then I believe he just sort of pushes out characters as new characters get updated. You can go see a whole bunch of different stuff here. You've got the tier list, character tier list, GP leader tier list. You've got rules and tips, leaders and teams, EXP. Like, he basically just gives you everything that you need. He also does a should you pull part here too. Just letting you guys know if you should pull for the character or not. And he gives them a rating out of 5. For myself, I think Bo is probably a little bit more than a 3 out of 5. She's probably like a 3.5 out of 5. But he basically gives you a whole bunch of pros and cons for the character, and why they're sort of good and why they're bad. The conclusion is you decide. He just says, like, it's up to you guys if you should summon here. This is talking in a PvP stance. He compares it to Quick Kaido 6+, which is a very, very good comparison. They do very similar things. Then you got Frankie. He's got here Skip. Definitely agree on that. Brook is definitely a skip too. Jinbei is definitely a skip as well. And then you've got, what, Sabo and Bonnie. Like, all these characters are always going to be skips until you get to the Super SUGO stuff. And that's the big reason why we're doing this particular video, because when the Super SUGOs come, that's where the meta really shakes up. So I'm just going to quickly make this a little bit bigger, because it gets a bit wonky. What's it called? The spreadsheet. Because it's done over on Google Sheets. So, starting off, we have the Pirate Rumble Meta Team Comps. This is the big one that I want to look at and see if I sort of agree or disagree and what I would change for these particular lineups. So, the first team he's got here, and I believe he thinks this is the best team in the game, which is the Strength team. And it's hard to disagree with, because Strength is so damn strong. This team, this lineup right here, is exceptionally powerful. I think, obviously, you move a Kainu to the front here in this middle slot, and for me, I like to run Sandersonia on this particular team, just because the Sandersonia buffs from Boa here are a little bit better than having sort of like Ryza Shinobu. Ryza Shinobu can definitely work, especially because you have a shooter-centric bench. If, say, you're doing like Sandersonia, I just realized you guys can't see my mouse. There we go. If you guys are doing something like Sandersonia here, and then you go Akainu and then Ryza Shinobu, but this core front lineup is pretty much what you want to see in the Strength team. Luffy hits like a truck. He's probably still the best PvP character in the game. He's the most reliable. He's the only character that hits through defense that can bypass half stats on himself, which is an incredibly powerful combination. The level limit break of the waifus is fantastic. They buff strength and not strikers anymore, which is absolutely exceptional. Their confusion, like, for me, it's like 100% chance. Like, I feel like it just hits everyone all the time. You've got Uta. Everyone knows how powerful she is. When she released, everyone was like summoning just because of her PvP potential. Kobe's not too bad. I think Kobe's probably on the way out to this particular team. Same with the waifus, depending on what build you're going with. But for me, Kobe works great not only on this team, but on the Strength Fighter Shooter team, which I'll touch on in a second. And then finally, you've got Kuma. We are getting a new Kuma alongside the new Luffy for the Super SUGO celebration, the part 1 of the Aidan Egghead, but I just cannot see that Kuma overtaking this guy. The 6+ level in Break 4, Kuma, he's a demon. He's on par with being as good as Luffy, and when you have like the 2 best damage-dealing characters in the game, it's very, very hard to just like do anything when it comes to that. So, like I said, he thinks this is the best team in the game. I'll touch on these top 3 teams, because he does have 3 like OP teams, and they're pretty much the ones we want to focus on. Next here we have the Egghead Incident, which is the shooter-based team. Shooters are interesting. They're very, very good, but they've always relied on a lot of attacking prowess. Now, for this particular lineup, if you're running shooters, you need to have Lulu. Lulu level in rank 5 essentially carries the team. But for myself, like, I run a very different combination to this team. I understand what he's going for here with Suru and the amount of cooldown reduction, but I don't think it's necessary on the shooter team. Usopp Lilith goes so damn fast, and they reduce the enemy cooldown, and then Lulu's giving you level 3 cooldown reduction. It's pretty much enough. Same with S-Snake. She's also lowering the enemy's cooldown. With this, like, this combination of units, you don't really need Suru in this lineup to help you go faster. And if you want to be using shooters correctly, you want to bank in damage. Now, I understand that he's got Frankie here as well. It's another character that I don't tend to use. But for me, I think Esper in the front is just way more valuable. And then you can even run Kuma in the front. Like, the 6 strength character restriction is not that detrimental. It's only available for the forced out part. You're still getting the damage from Kuma regardless. So if you want, you can run Kuma in the front here. He works great. And then another character I like to use is Caulifla as well. But I understand Frankie's just like, he's like a very, very good option. And he can do quite a lot of damage as well. Finally, the last OP team he has is, he calls it Mateys, which is the Int team. This team is exceptional. I'm a big, big fan of this particular build. The combination of Yamato and Roger Rally Gaban and the death shots is so freaking powerful. It's the perfect counter to the shooter team. Like, I understand, like, the shooter counter meta came with Carrot, but, like, this team right here, this in team, it is the true shooter counter. Sabo gives you haste, basically at the start of the fight, but it just allows you to get S-Hawk to go very quickly. And then you've got the 6+ waifus, who are just absolutely exceptional too. As for the bench, I like to run a little bit different bench. I tend to lean more into the cerebral side of things, with characters like York, with characters like the Lilith and Vega Force unit just on the bench, and then having like another cerebral character. With that, you have 6 cerebrals here, and then like the 3 on the bench, which allows your Lilith and Vega Force characters to just hit really hard. Plus, you have 1, 2, 3, and then the 3 bench units being Egghead as well, just allows you to hit ridiculously hard too. But again, we'll dive into some like deep breakdowns on these characters at the end. So make sure to stay to the end of the video to check that out as well. Moving down here, he's got We Don't Like Freedom, which is the Cerebral Revolutionary team. This is actually a really good team. The Sabo Koala level limit break is just phenomenal. He's got Jinbei on this team. Obviously, I don't have Jinbei. I haven't really done any testing, but I do like where Cerebrals are going. And obviously with Dragon, he's super special, so strong if you get it maxed out. Usopp Lilith, again, just being an absolute force in the meta. I would be so keen to see this team in action. Like, whether I have it or not, like, I would love to see this team. But there's just so much exclusiveness when it comes to this. Robin and Crocodile are fantastic as well. This team is sort of designed to take down Free Spirit, so I believe that's why he calls it We Don't Like Freedom. So, I'd love to see that. Next, we've got Pirates and Marines. This is one of my favorite PvP teams. I love that he's just thrown Jinbei on this the bench here, which is exceptional. He's also got Hina there, but you can also use Fuji and Green Bull. It's a fantastic option, but this particular team is like my favorite Grand Party team. When you're running Kizaru as leader in Grand Party, this is the team like you must run. If you don't have a Kainu, very easy to substitute a Kainu in with Esper. Super, super easy character to just slide in there. And then Nami, the Monster Trio, and then Garb just go absolutely ballistic with damage output, which is really, really nice. Next, we've got the Emperors with their right hands. I believe the new addition to this team is Garling. Garling coming into this team is interesting. I really like this team. However, I'm not a huge fan of Kaido and King anymore. I do have them leveled in rank 5, maxed them all out, all that fun stuff. But I just think having Hawk in the front here, while still having 2 in characters, it just works better. It functions nicer because S-Hawk's damage is way more reliable than what Kaido and King does. But the teams are great. Powerhouse and Driven are definitely falling off, but they're still very, very nice to see. Next, we've got the Escape from Egghead. This is a pretty good team. This is just very Psy-centric. The Marine version, for me, it's just way better. Lord just definitely doesn't... Like, he's just kind of fallen off a little bit, so... unfortunately, like, he's just not there. And then finally, we have the Striker team. This Striker team is very, very good as well. You've got all the Egghead characters? Yeah, because they're Egghead, which is crazy. The Striker team is very, very good. The Robin and Crocodile unit can definitely replace with something like Bonnie, for example. And then Saturn, I don't know, Saturn's just he's kind of a miss for me. But you do want to have all of the 6 strikers for the Vega and Lilith unit, so you do need to have something going there. Next, got S Slashers. Look, for me, Slashers have just fallen off a cliff, man. I don't know if they're still SS. This is one that I think they'll definitely need to be dropped down to the S tier, just because the damage output and the speed that Slashers have Like, I understand you can rock teams, but, like, I don't know if it's still, like, the pinnacle. Plus, Roger and Whitebeard, like, they're definitely seen their time. Emperors of an Old Era, very, very strong team, but I think Big Mom, just, if you put Big Mom Katakuri here, like, Big Mom Katakuri is just better. But I understand he wants to make this a Dex team, so, like, that's probably why. But just, if you're ever running a Dex sort of build like this is a fantastic, fantastic Assault Rumble team. You just need to make sure that Big Mom Katakuri is there, just because the half stats that you get from Big Mom Katakuri is just, it's way more valuable. Happy Tree Friends, which is the Free Spirit team. It's very, very good. I'm a big fan of this particular build as well. I think I like to run the Sabo Koala unit probably over the waifus, but the waifus are just a much better character overall. And then as you go down here, you've got the Strength Shooter team. You've got the Straw Hat Slashers. Wano Country's Liberation, which is the Quick team. Quick team's fallen off and it's going down, even with Frankie in the mix and stuff like Brook in the mix. I don't think he's up. Well, I guess he probably has updated the teams because like Jinbei was there. But this Quick team, I feel like you don't need Sugar. Like Sugar just doesn't need to be there. But this Luffy's definitely going to get buffed to the new Luffy. And then you can do some fun stuff with 6+ Zoro should definitely be here instead. Weevil's a pretty good shout. Jinbei's only good against strength builds. The Boa definitely needs to come into this team as well. So that the Quick team, this Quick team just needs a huge overhaul, and it's definitely one that I could see like creeping into SS. Strength Free Spirit, Strength Slasher. We've got Punk Records, which is the Vegapunk team, the Marine Shooter team. I feel like with the new garb, you could probably do something fun here, and just sort of, I don't know, replace Frankie, I would say, or even replace Usopp and then use the other garb. That would probably be the best way to go about it. Red Strength Striker. Now, Strength Fighter. Now, this is the one I wanted to sort of get to, because here you go. He's got this here. This is a way better team than the other. This Quick team is way better than the other Quick team. Like, way better. Like, Daz Bones doesn't need to be there. Just throw in Luffy and you're just cooking. Like, you're just straight up cooking. But yeah, this Strength Fighter team is the one I wanted to highlight. This Strength Fighter team I actually really, really like running. But I don't use Jack. I just throw Kuma there. Why not? Like, someone tell me why not. Yeah, throw Kuma there. Like, he's not getting buffed by Pika. It's not the end of the world. He's still a shooter character, so you're still getting the buffs from S-Snake. And Kobe and Luffy are buffing strength characters, so like you're free to go. So this team here, if you just change this character, Jack, to Kuma 6+, this is an OP team. Just a straight up OP team. I prefer to run this team than the other strength team. It's faster, it's more reliable, it works so nicely. And it's very, very good. Quick Slasher, like I said, this is just better than the other Quick team. Then as you go down here, you just got some other teams like Anti-Shooters, you got Anti-Slashers, you got the Blue Bad Guys, Quick Powerhouse. Like I said, he goes to a lot of effort here, so make sure to go show this guy some love. Buy him a coffee, do all that fun stuff. Then you got the Blue Straw Hats, blah, 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 blah. So if you come back to the top here, where the good stuff is, we can click on these arrows here, which will give us a link off to the side, which you guys can't actually see, which will take us to the comps and subs. Now, comps and subs is interesting because basically what he does here, he gives us a huge rundown of the starting lineup, the bench, and what it's good against, what it's weak against, the damage. He goes into a lot of effort here, guys. So, like I said, make sure to check him out. Now, if we go down a little bit, that'd be great. He's got team variations, so you can run different versions of this. Now, his versions look like you've got the Strength Luffy, you've got Blackbeard here, you've got Buggy, who's also a really good option too. And then he's also got like some tips and tricks of what works best. Like Red Luffy and Kuma dominate against tanksy teams, not just Dex. You play around with Uta, Kobe, Buggy, or Nami to speed up the specials. So you can do a whole bunch of stuff here, and he gives you just like a really good rundown of everything that's going on. But if we kind of scroll back over here, he goes into options and replacements, and he kind of puts them underneath who he thinks is the best replacement for. So obviously you can't have two Luffy, so if you're not using this Luffy, you can use this Luffy. Blackbeard's another good defensive unit, just like the waifus are. Jack is a HP reducer, and he gives a defense, which is another good option for something like Uta, even though Uta just does more. And then you've got the best cooldown reduction unit in Buggy, so great option over something like Kobe. And then you've got King, which is a great option over something like Kuma if you don't have Kuma. But this team here, it's very, very good and it's a lot of fun. But if you just take out this waifu unit and you put on what's his name? Pika, which he doesn't really have highlighted here because Look, I understand Pico is more designed for fighter teams and driven teams, but like, don't get me wrong, Pico can easily just go straight in to a strength lineup and just do absolute work. Very similar to how you got Ryza Shinobu here. The thing with Pico is, though, you do need to have 6 fighters or driven characters. So you're going to want to have 1 Uta and Kuma aren't. So you're going to have to make sure that your bench is fighter-centric. And because you're taking off the Nami here, just Sanji, substituting a Sanji on this bench here is really, really good. But Strength, look, I don't disagree. I think Strength is probably the most versatile and the best team in the game because of the amount of options that you have now. I was in the camp of Shooter, but like, Shooters, whilst are very, very good, the variations of team that Shooter have, just, they don't really match what Strength is doing. So I do agree that the Strength team is the best team in the game. So let's go down here now. You've got more options for strengths, strength slashes, all that fun stuff. We go back to the meta team comps. You can click on this arrow here, which will take us to the shooter comps. So I love that he does this. Again, a lot of hard work's been put into these. I wish I could actually just like move things and not affect anything, but like obviously I can't. So looking at the main comp of shooters, very, very good team. Again, I just don't think Suru needs to be here. Suru's what's it called? Cooldown reduction is great, but again, when you have these characters already, like, you just don't really need it. Like, it's just not essential for the build. And having a character like Esper, who's going very, very quickly, like very, very quick, in the front lines can do really, really nice things. On top of that, you can also use the... what's the name? The level limit break Usopp over here instead of Usopp and Lilith. I believe he gives good cooldown reduction. Yeah, he gives a reduced cooldown too, with his special. But like Usopp, Lilith, and what they're doing is just, it's so ridiculously strong. Again, you can do some fun stuff with more strength shooter characters if you want to, and then just sort of funnel into Kuma, bring Kuma into the front lines here, and still keep like a 6 strength character build as well. That definitely works. But I find it like Esper in the front with something like Caulifla as well. This character here, she's very far down. I don't really know if this is reflective of positioning, but like, she's so good. Like, disgustingly good. The half defense for 3 enemies is so strong, and then her damage against 1 enemy is just ridiculous. She just basically kills a unit, which is just exactly what you need, because Lulu's going in and then killing more units. I understand that Frankie having ignoring defense is really, really strong, and I've already tried this lineup compared to the one that I'm talking about, but he doesn't have as much attack prowess as what Caulifla does. So I would definitely look at putting Caulifla in here. Whoop. In here. And then moving Esper here. And then you can just build out more of a better, more refined bench with stuff like Ryza Shinobu, for example. And then you can use Kizaru, who's another character that hasn't really been touched on here. This Kizaru you can also use as a Kono as well. So you have some very, very good options here. This Sword unit too is exceptional if you want to run them in the front, but if you do run them, then you do lose out on all the fun stuff that Esper has provided. So shooters are fantastic. They are definitely a top 3 team, if not second best. But the team that is sort of like rivaling them and is a perfect counter is this lineup right here. I don't have any arguments with the front line of this team. The front line of this team to me is perfection. You could maybe make an argument to take out Sabo and put in Verse Shanks instead. Verse Shanks, I don't even think he's got him here. He does not have Verse Shanks here. Okay. Verse Shanks is just another really good option being Cerebral character. Just the 5,000 fixed damage on such a low cooldown. It's just a really nice buffer of damage to allow this guy to just clean house. And it works very, very nicely. Again, if you have the Vega Force units, the Vega Force 20 cost right here in the first slot. And then you can use something like York right here too. She's another Egghead Cerebral character. Slap her on the bench there, and then you can use something like what's the other character that I'm thinking of? I've actually lost it. I believe it's a Cerebral unit. Doll. No. Yeah, Doll. It's Doll Cerebral, isn't she? Buff Strikers though, which is a bit of a shame. But also buffs Egghead characters too, so you can just throw that on the bench there. And then that way you have all your Cerebral units. You can also use Inuyasuma as well. Inuyasuma is just a fantastic option, as Inuyasuma is a Cerebral-based booster. But you do want it to be Egghead, so like you do want to make sure that you have that Egghead-centric character there. As Sabo, Roger Gaban, and S-Hawk in the front lines are all Egghead, and then you want that bench to be Egghead as well. So again, these 3, like, they're not bad. They're not bad characters at all. Smoker, Dory, Brogy, they hit really hard. But again, this character is just doing so much that you really want to try and get this into the lineup somehow. What? Why am I blanking? What's that? Has he got him hit? No. I don't know. I'm just completely blanking. The upside to Int as well is you can do some fun stuff with Verse Blackbeard as well. I think he's got Verse Blackbeard here too. If you want to make it more powerhouse centric, Blackbeard's debuff alone basically just takes down stuff like slasher teams and stuff like that. So if you want to do something more powerhouse centric, you definitely can do some fun stuff there. Int's another one that just has like so many different options going for it that you can do some really, really cool stuff as well. So these three are definitely the top 3 teams. I don't have any argument for that. I'd love to see the Cerebral team in action. I do understand dropping the what's it called? The Sai Straw Hat team. That's definitely a team that is starting to fall off. This Emperor with the right hand, I believe that just swap these two around and you're pretty much good to go. And then Strikers, we'll quickly have a look and see. Let's just go to this Freedom, because this is he calls this a trending comp, being cerebral based. Other characters, this Sabo and Bonnie is so good. This Sabo also is fantastic, but again, you can't run Sabo Koala over that. The upside of having Sabo Koala here is that way Dragon gets a little bit more value out of his haste. Oh, that's cool. He's got a little free-to-play symbol. That's fun. Yeah, nice. Cerebrals, they're definitely on the up, so it's nice to see them actually getting some love up here in the tier list. And then, if we go down here to the Striker comp, let's have a quick look here. Yeah, so the Striker comp gets real wonky after this. You got Nami and all this fun stuff here. Like the Strikers get super wonky, but they're definitely a team that has fallen off quite a little bit. But I think, like I said, I'd love to see this team in action. Maybe this team does creep into the top 5. But the top 3 teams, OP teams, I don't have any argument with. For me, the Pirates and Marine team is definitely up there, and then the Driven Powerhouse team is definitely up there too. Don't know if I would rank this Sai team as high. Strikers definitely can see a home up there. I don't know if I run Slashes that high. Decks are still very good, and Free Spirit is still very good as well. So, very, very nice stuff there. If you want to keep going along here, he gives you a bit of a breakdown of how many flags and stuff like that you need to level up characters. You've got a character tier list as well. So, the OP tier is the best characters in the game, and then SS being excellence, current meta, situational, blah, blah, blah. So, I believe this is in order. So, he's got Luffy, Kuma, S-Hawk, hard to disagree with that. Lulu, yep, I definitely agree with Roger, Rayleigh Bond. The waifus, don't know if I'd have Nami Karina up here. I think Nami Karina is definitely moving towards the back. Roger, Rayleigh Bond, definitely Nami, Usopp, Lilith, all fantastic. I think Pika needs to be definitely up here. I would swap Pika and Nami Karina if I could make a change to anything. I think that Roger and Whitebeard being up in SS is very interesting to me. I think that could definitely be a little bit lower. Kaido and King can definitely be a bit lower. S-Snake needs to be up here in SS for sure. The Vega Force character needs to be up here in SS for sure as well. Akainu could probably be up here as well. I think that Cross Guild probably can drop down. Other than that, everything else seems pretty spot on. So, again, shout out to Naruto. Like, he puts in a lot of effort to this sort of stuff and makes some really, really good content. So, the GP leader tier list, these are the top 5 leaders. Hard to disagree with, to be honest. Sai Luffy, I think, has definitely fallen off. I think Int Luffy's still the best. If we're looking at no buffs for the season, Int Luffy and then Kaido for me are the top 2, and then I'd probably have the Strength Luffy and then the Sai Monster Trio. I'm a big fan of what Shanks does and what Yamato does as well, so I would have them pretty high too. I think Roger Rayleigh Gaban has a very interesting burst. It's just not super strong. But like I said, it's hard to disagree with that. I think he's got all the characters in the right spot. I would maybe move Roger Rayleigh Gaban up. I'd probably drop this Luffy, and I'd bring up, say, Shanks. Yeah, I'd probably bring up Shanks and then maybe Yamato. So, yeah, very good stuff. He even goes into the GP rules and breaks it all down for you. So if you guys are struggling with like GP and you want to know like what the best situation to run is, these are the best leaders for or the recommended characters for, I guess, for leaders, or like recommended characters to use. I suppose. I don't understand why like these characters here, if they don't have boosted leader skills. But the top 4 definitely were fantastic this season. terrific options. Saturn honestly was like disappointing. Sabo was way better than I gave him credit for. Kizaru's the cheat code, and then wiping an ace was the way to go. Leader being Kizaru, I definitely love all of this, except I would just change this bottom team here. This bottom team, I would just directly pivot into what's it called? I would directly pivot this into a shooter team, and then bring S-Snake onto that shooter team, and then just run, like, Pika in this lineup. Like, Pika in this lineup is just, it's so ridiculous. Or run that traditional strength team. That's also another option that you guys can do too. So, but still, this worked very, very nicely as Quick was boosted, so you could do some fun stuff there. And then he also goes into leaders and teams when it comes to GP leaders and stuff like that. So, this is really, really good when we get to, obviously, the GP season, but I've already completed that, so fun stuff there. But again, huge shout out to Naruto for all of this information. It's just really, really nice to see so much work being put into PvP, because there's just not enough chatter on PvP, to be honest. So make sure to go buy him a coffee, send him some love, do all that fun stuff. But if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.